Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to more Wargame Cup coverage. There was a 2-week break to deal with Christmas, but we are back, and we're starting with something relatively big at the Wargame Cup. Big props to UGen Systems, who gave us this giant break. But the cup is back, and we have a big match. This one's between Fiva55, who was rated like 6th in the world, and Pik-As, who's rated about has about a 1900 ELO. So these are relatively even players. Pik-As is shown to be fairly good in the tournament. Fiva55, of course, is a very, very good player. And looks like we're going to see some helicopter action here. Lots of gazelle cannons showing up. And this map is actually River of Blood. The river, of course, goes down the middle. It's a unique map that a lot of players have actually been practicing for. I've been watching a lot of practice maps. And there are many ways to go with this. The most common, of course, is to go for this echo location and then secure the Juliet. And of course, there is a mirroring on the other side that each player can go for. And the unique feature on this map is these little towns here. This makes it very, very easy to defend this location, but not so much this location. It also means that if you can rush an infantry ahead here, you can basically deny this location for the enemy. It's one of these risky type imbalances that each map seems to have. You might also note there is a 4-point here, and there is a 4-point here, and your starting point is actually a 2-point. So, you see a very high amount of strategies on this map. Immediately you see the gazelles move forward and splitting up into various directions. This new split style of gazelles, of course, has become very popular ever since Komarami almost got wiped out by it. And he's actually going to use these gazelles to kind of pick off various locations. And we see a rush immediately down, straight down. Pik-As is trying to seriously do some damage here, but it doesn't look like he's able to get it. Fiva55 has infantry planted all locations, and the tanks are just unfortunately running into giant piles of infantry. However, he has secured his middle location, and it looks like, in fact, yes, both players have secured middle location. A very good opening for Fiva55, and we see more action going over here. Chasseurs versus Motostrelcies. The Motostrelcies should win this battle. There are lots of VABs and Chasseurs, but they should not be strong enough to deal with this. Whoa, we have another flank going on here. Lots of AMX infantry fighting vehicles pounding on this location. And we have multiple flanks battles here. Small little skirmish here. Some infantry running into Chasseurs, caught off guard. Little skirmish in the middle that was resolved, and here's the big fight. Motostrelcies look like they will get cleaned up. This giant flank AMX 10Ps will, not AMX, it's like AM, yeah, it is AMX, okay. They will clean up this group of Motostrelcies. So it looks like Fiva55 has all of his bases covered, and this group of Motostrelcies will go down. There is a Zippo here as well, so this is possibly one of the worst ways for Pik-As to open. Getting shot at every angle. And VAB is actually pushing out this FJB Special Forces, and looks like every flank cleaned up. Pretty sizable lead here for Fiva55, 200-point lead. He is, of course, one of the favorites to win the whole tournament. 250-point lead now, and 240-point lead. And now that the openings are over, we can see Fiva55 moving a lot of infantry vehicles and infantry carriers to try and secure this flank. There are still 9 FGB soldiers just running away. Poor guys. With their little French berets on. Oh, we are running away. And yeah, what a fairly crazy opener. Pik-As hasn't quite thrown the game away just yet. However, we see a small distinct advantage for Fiva55, who has moved up his command to Echo. Whereas, like I said, it's a 2-point base. And there are some defensive advantages to keeping this. However, the 1 point may make a difference over time, as very slowly Fiva55 will get ahead on economy and get the higher quality units that definitely win these fights. And we see that Fiva55, after this crazy opening, after defending a pretty sizable all-in of tanks and infantry, has decided to fortify his position and play the game smart. He's going for a longer game. Just trying to slowly inch up his positions here, and he's using these AMX 10Ps effectively to try to push out these special forces. And we see a small little group of tanks and infantry pushing in. Motostrelcies are deployed on top of flame tanks, and it looks like they'll all get cleaned up. Fire and blaze on these poor jungles. And yeah, tanks though, tanks are something. Getting too close though, too close to these Chasseurs, which are able to do a little more damage. The tanks might be able to deal with the Zippo. You see artillery barrage coming from Fiva55. Here's the artillery unit. Oh, it's a infantry carrier, sorry. Oh, poor BMP runs right into a Fern Speyer, which kills it off. It looks like Pik-As is going for too much of a freak play, trying to throw units that he has, and we see lots of multi-rocket launchers pounding on this Foxtrot location, trying to wipe out any infantry they can. Of course, artillery, considering the number of infantry here, would have done better. And another little flank of VABs coming around the sides. He wants to get a total surround on this Foxtrot location. Any kind of surround here would be good, because he can also slowly creep up here, cut off reinforcements, and this is just what we call safe play. Nothing's clumped up, nothing's going to get smashed by artillery. There's no random elements to really deal with. And this is one of these maps where all-ins actually generally don't do very well. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that the two bases that you generally take are fairly close to each other, and so the quick strategic plays you can do when you spot an all-in are relatively good. And I mean, Fiva55 saw the tank all in, and he immediately deployed chasseurs. He didn't just do it randomly. He deployed the chasseurs in a pattern so that they created a bottleneck for the tanks to fall into. It just wasn't random at all. These chasseurs, however, might just get wiped out. They are running to a group of fully armed moto steadily, which of course have the RPO anti-infantry frag grenades. And I'm not entirely sure what Fiva55 is doing with the squad. He should have resupplied this at least before moving in. And, whoa, we have another little group, well, not a little group, but a very large group of infantry moving in. And he wants to secure this side location before he gets it totally surrounded, which of course is the right thing to do. And coming with a lot of tanks, a lot of infantry, and there's a lot of artillery support. And whoa, we have another command number coming up for Fiva55. He's going to try and secure the 4-point pattern. He's just going to keep rushing these through. He's going to go for blood right now. FJBs are moving to the woods. They want to get this VAB before it does too much damage. The tanks are sideswiping all these recons. There's lots of infantry vehicles, but these are not the ones he needs right now. He needs anti-tank weapons to deal with. There's an AMX over here pounding location with artillery fire. The Cobras are trying to do some cover damage. And it looks like we might see a pretty potent rush here from Pik-As, who might be able to gain some ground here. Chasseurs are not that good and are getting raped by too many moto strelices. We see lots of various vehicles being pushed forward by Fiva55, who's using these Cobras, these cannons, to try and do that extra bit of damage he needs to do. Tanks are getting completely smashed right now. And it looks like, it's just hard to tell. He's gaining position, but he's losing lots of points. FJBs getting wiped out by groups of AMX 10Ps and VABs. They're just not in the right position. They need to get the cover of the woods. And we can see across the way here, this position will go to Pik-As, but at a very high cost. He's lost 2 tanks so far and a lot of infantry. And of course, these helicopters will continue pounding. There is no anti-aircraft weaponry here at all. These are all just free vehicles for Fiva55 to chew up. We see another flank down here. The Buratino is getting hit. It needs to be firing to help this big battle. The FJBs have run out of rockets. Of course, they carry this Strela 2 rocket, which was needed up front. The Strela 2, of course, is an anti-air rocket. The tanks are mostly cleaned up. There's only 2 left, and that's just enough for the helicopters to be able to clean it up. And unfortunately, they're routing into the wrong location. Right into this chasseur, who will be able to put these Alcel Tex grenades all over their bums. Because we say bums on YouTube. Saying otherwise would be pretty indecent. And yes, all this push by Pik-As completely cleaned up. And now we see a very sizable lead. And oh my god, Pik-As has thrown in the towel. He has forfeited to Fiva55. A very sizable defeat, and something that I wasn't really expecting considering how close these guys are in rating. And Fiva55 moves on to round 5. This was, of course, round 4. I was lucky to find this game. I was lucky these guys played this early. Hopefully we have more games tomorrow. I can't make any promises, but until then, my name is Troublemaker, and I hope you join me next time for more Wargame Cup coverage. See you then.